If you're running longer than an hour, you probably want to take in some fuel, like an energy gel. It really blows when you're still on the out stage of your out and back and you run out of gas. My problem with gels is that I think they're expensive, especially if you look for natural ones. I got into running because I thought it was a cheap sport. So I came up with this simple, natural, cost-effective energy gel you can make at home. If you prefer not to put things in your body that a 3-year-old can't pronounce, keep watching. Okay, so I didn't just pull this recipe out of my I was searching online for an all-natural energy gel and I found one that I thought was pretty cool. It's called Vala and they're made in the UK. Only problem is, I live in the US and they don't ship internationally. Hey, maybe if enough of you comment and say that you're interested in trying the Vala, I'll contact them and see if they're willing to send us some. So I said screw it, I'm making my own, and I kind of based my recipe on that gel. Actually, you'll find that the main ingredients are in a lot of natural gels out there. Chia seeds, date paste, and cacao powder. I know, typical Birkenstock tree-hugging recipe, right? Look, I'm not saying it's better than others with ingredients that read like a chemistry set. I believe in science. Anyway, not only will this save you money, but if you have any issues with the synthetic stuff, as in it gives you the runs, give this recipe a try. I'm telling you, it's not hard to make. Like anything in life, you just need the will. And it helps to have all the ingredients ready to go. Here's what you're gonna need. Maple syrup, date paste, chia seed powder, cacao powder, lemon, lime, and salt. Sometimes I'll add matcha powder and turmeric for extra antioxidants and anti-inflammatory goodness. But go real easy on the matcha, it'll taste like wheatgrass before you know it. This recipe yields about 150 grams of gel, which is about 5 to 6 servings. So let's make it. I like to start by chopping up the date paste into cubes. Mine came in a brick shape, so I have to break it up. Then I microwave it slightly to soften it up so that I get less clumps. Don't do more than 10 seconds at a time. I start with the maple syrup and date paste. Then I add chia seed powder and cacao powder. Next, I squeeze in the half lemon and half lime and top it off with a half teaspoon of salt. If you want to add the turmeric and matcha, you can do it right now. Once in a while, I'll throw in some chili powder to kick it up a notch. I'm Korean, I can take it. Obviously, it doesn't really matter what order you put in the ingredients, but I do recommend nuking the date paste because it'll make the consistency more even. Then let the machine do its thing. The one drawback I'll admit is that you can't make too much of this at once. Because it's natural, it'll last a couple weeks in the fridge, but I wouldn't push it much longer. Before you know it, you have a tasty and nutritious gel on your hands. This formula ends up being thick like a paste, unlike the Vala, which is very runny. But if it makes you feel like you're trying to suck a watermelon through a straw, you can thin it out by adding a little more lime juice or lemon juice and maybe even some water. I know what you're thinking. How am I supposed to take this on the go? You can stuff them in these. They're reusable pouches you can find online. I tried looking for 1-ounce packets to make it easier, but the only thing I could find were these 3.5-ounce packets. So let's start stuffing. It's a little messy, but if it gets on your fingers, just lick it clean. Who doesn't like the taste of chocolate dates? There you go, you get about 2 of these 3.5-ounce packets. I found that an ounce is about a mouthful, and that's roughly 95 calories, 22 grams of carbs, 200 milligrams of sodium, and 150 milligrams of potassium, plus some other nutrients. The exact breakdown is in the description below. So on an 1.5-hour run, I'll take an ounce before I start, another ounce about 30 minutes in, and then the final ounce about an hour in. Once you get used to the unscrewing and screwing of the cap, it's really no big deal. Because the other thing that bothered me were seeing all those empty single-use packets on the ground. To be honest, it was probably a cyclist. But I feel like I'm helping to reduce the amount of landfill I create, even if it's a small amount. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you try this out at least once. To be fair, I don't make this all the time, but when I do, it's much safer than trying to down a protein bar on the run. I nearly choked doing that. Ride or run, let's get it done.